party started. Oh my goodness. I'm running a little bit late because my partner was yapping at me, and I'm grateful for him though. He ran a lot today trying to get the books mailed out and everything else. Gonna put the word out because I'm sure people thought, is she doing this today? And I want to take some time to really thank you all for being patient with me. Friday was just crazy. 100%. The pain that I was going through because I still have fibroids, and I don't want to get into too many health details, but it causes a lot of cramping and pain from like the tips of my toes to the tips of my ears. And I was still going to try to push through. And then when we went outside, one of the kittens just looked awful, like would not eat, was just laying there covered in flies. And we were like, you are not dying on us. There's just no way. We debated back and forth what we could do, and we called the animal clinic and was able to get the kitten there. And by the time everything started to finally calm down, I was still in pain. I was completely exhausted, and I was like, I just cannot sit in front of a camera. And I know everything dropped. Trump being charged with espionage, Merrick Garland mic dropping with that press conference that I love. I love people my age and older just not giving a right fuck about the way the microwave brain generation wants you to handle things. People who want to do the work, who aren't stunting for power, which we're going to talk about today as well. And it was hard for me not to be on Friday because it would have been great to sit and actually talk about how 45 literally committed espionage and all the theories about why he was so determined to bury his wife on his golf course. But I have to start listening to when my body can't handle things. And I realized that I was pushing a bit too hard and I had to get rest. So I am grateful to everybody who understood that, and I'm back. Hopefully, I can get through this entire week, get my content out there. And I appreciate all of you who've been supportive, especially with, the book, which, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I know you got to promote yourself, Tim. But you have been so supportive. People have been buying the physical copies. People are buying the ebooks. We are running a Kickstarter, which I will have the links to that all throughout the cast as well. We're going to hit the goals that we need to get this story out there. People are giving me amazing feedback, and I am thankful. But I really want to get to the heart of today's cast. It ain't just about promoting myself, though I know that a lot of people who do platforms like this also have their side stuff. And before I get to ripping the media a new one about the Dark Branda thing, I need to weigh in on what I feel is currently going on Twitter. I can't be neutral about any of this. I'm just gonna be 100% Tim. Everybody who is currently feuding, I like. And it drives me up a wall to see people that I respect go at each other. So I am being Switzerland in this shit. Y'all are grown folks. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to like each other's ways. Where I draw the line is being told I have to choose a side. Unfortunately, right now, nobody that I know personally involved in this current beef is doing that, thank God, because I think they're both mature enough to understand that we don't want to be divided on this. And both of you have pretty decent following, and both of you are pretty respectful people. I just feel like at this point, these beefs are going to keep happening. There are a lot of people who have grown from the last few years being commentators, weighing in and just being themselves. And we're not always all going to get along. But where I draw the line is, oh, if you talk to this person, you can't talk to me. Please don't do that. Don't make me choose a side, because I will choose the person who isn't putting me through that. I just want peace. I am being defiantly joyful at this point because I feel like the cynic in me says everybody's doom and gloom. I'm going to be happy. I am pursuing all my dreams. And I am hopeful that more people see this and realize that that is the best way to be. And I get that we're not all going to get along. And I get that some people are going to make platforms doing things that we don't always agree with. But Twitter does not always have to be a battlegrounds. And yes, I seen that ridiculous hit piece. The so-called anonymous people who expect VP Harris to be able to solve systemic racism with just her own magical wand and stuff. I've seen the bullshit and I realized that I don't have to feed into it. People summon the K Hive all the time. My friend June and French put it very succinctly. We're not here to be summoned by you. All these attention seeking motherfuckers, all these people that want to call on the K Hive to argue with them to say, oh, look, the K Hive's attacking me. Isn't she toxic? Aren't they toxic? Isn't by definition she toxic? Then we have to stop being useful tools to their attention seeking ways. And the heart of us, the majority of us, don't even feed into that. And I'm not saying that's not on us to call in those who go a bit too hard and embarrass us. But I'm not everybody's mama. And our group is still a grassroots organization of people who keep receipts, people who push back against lies and misinformation. And we don't have time. Because need I remind you that we are in a midterm year. And that while some people think, oh, it's going to be easy, it's going to be a bank shot, the Republicans shot their shot and played a dirty hand, and now we are going to respond. I don't trust white people right now. You're a white person and you're about to record skip and pause and go, well, Tim, what do you mean by that? Your demographic have done us dirty several times. You're the ones still doing TikToks talking about how you need messaging. You're the ones who constantly need somebody to tell you something or push button the issue. You're literally walking around saying, I'm a Warren Democrat. Blood and tooth emoji. Why can't the K Hive have the same values as I do? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to list my values right now. I want equality. I want people's rights to be protected. I want women to have the rights to choose. I want the LGBT to be able to, especially when they're two grown folks, marry, be able to live without having violence against them. I want women to be respected. I want men to be respected. I want actual equality, and I want people who want to do the work to make sure that happens. I don't need constant promises of pat on the head because I was raised black, so I don't really trust people who try to smile and lie in my face. I'm a full-on pragmatist, which means everybody benefits, even the assholes who don't look like me, don't act like me, because that is the real of pragmatism. But some of you don't want this. Some of you want a palatable dictatorship, and you think that we don't see it. That's why you back assholes like Elizabeth Warren, who talk a big game, who tweet about student loan debt, but bitch, you're a legislator. Why aren't you legislating some bills for student loan debt if that's your passion project? I hear so much about how Warren's a policy wonk, how she gets stuff done. If you follow the trail, she adds herself to a lot of stuff. She talks a good game, but she ain't doing shit at her job. And if she keeps it up, she's going to talk herself out of her Senate seat. Because people are tired of those who stunt for power instead of those who want to do the work. And we have seen with this administration what getting the work done entails. That's why I love the fact that we have a president who is not only a vice president, but a senator, and a vice president who is a senator, now vice president. They understand that politics requires negotiation. They understand that they are running 50 separate states, all with their own local governments who are hostile right now. They realize that we do not have a full Senate majority. So every negotiation is that. And we are getting stuff done. We are getting bills passed. And we could get so much more done if the 53% would call some of their sisters in, realize that this obedient male bullshit ain't it all the time, and that we need to protect our own rights. If the over 60% of white men who love to jump in and, well, actually people would start talking to their brothers and get them to understand that the GOP isn't for them. Unless you're another rich straight asshole, the GOP is not the party for you. And I think enough of us are starting to wake up and realize it, but the numbers are still not there. People are still not taking their local elections seriously, and the media doesn't help that because too many people literally believe that the president is a dictator and can just do all the work himself. And that is where the disconnect is, and that is why the fact that they're bitching about Dark Brandon, as my friend lovely Renee. I love the fact that she did that thread because so many of us added or sat and laughed at the freaking fallacies of calling a sweet man like Joe Biden this dark overlord. And we took it and ran with it and had fun with it. And now we have all these people in the media writing think pieces on why it's the so awful that Dark Brandon is trending and blah, blah. Our fourth estate has been broken, and I don't know if it's repairable at this point because between the old white men who own it and want to control the narrative, the young white people whose parents trust fund them into these journalist positions, we are not getting a straight story at all about things. They don't want stability because stability doesn't get them clicks and views. They want that concentrated chaos. And it's more evidence as they sit there on Twitter bitching about Dark Brandon, as if Dark Brandon is nothing but a meme. Get over it. Y'all let us sit through Bernie's face plastered on Superman, Nina Turner on Wonder Woman, which I'm still not okay with. I hate that image, and I'm mad that y'all cursed me with that fucking image in my brain. We have watched y'all meme all kinds of figures. There are people that literally wandering around with that man's face on their body. So many of us, since I Like Ike, have had buttons and slogans. I get that politics in itself requires a level of devotion, but some of you have taken the shit a bit too far, and you cannot stand being wrong. And that is why I didn't want to jump in the middle of the latest Twitter feud. Because once again, it is two very strong personalities trying to be right about something that it doesn't matter. In the whole day and age, it's protecting somebody that we care for, somebody whose political trajectory could help upraise all of us. And if that isn't your goal, I don't consider you K-Hive. Everybody who has openly declared or called themselves K-Hive should be under the goal of not only seeing VP Harris one day become President Harris, but seeing that everybody who is American and beyond does better. Because that is the whole goal of our organization. But I think some people get it twisted. Like that alleged anonymous source, which I think it was just the author of that hit piece, talking about, oh, I thought she was, her goal was to undo the systemic oppression. And it's like, America has had systemic oppression for over 400 years. And not just of black people, but mainly of black people. And not one politician could undo all of that damage by themselves. So it is a ridiculous, illogical expectation of anybody. But it's not surprising because everybody thought Barack Obama was a magical Negro. They just thought his 8 years of presidency was going to undo 400 years of racial tension, hatred, and damage. And that is the problem with so-called allies. Y'all think in magical terms, and I say this as a witch, I'm a practical bitch. I have to see the work done. And you get what you put in. That's why I laugh at all those people. Like, they keep bringing up Cheese. She has a podcast too. She does well for herself. Of course she does. She's another trust fund type. But she literally is on record saying the youth is spoken. We want Bernie. And it's like, y'all speak a lot. Y'all troll a lot. You tweet a lot. You are really loud on social media. But you know what you don't do? You don't vote. So it doesn't matter what you cry for. It don't matter if you wear Bernie on your fucking clothing or whatnot. You don't turn that so-called devotion to him into actual ballots. You expect that just magically saying that you support somebody translates into that, and that's problematic. Because if you showed half the devotion you do into trolling, doxing, bothering, harassing people into actually political activism, you might be taken more seriously. But instead, you would rather call people names, say, why, mom? You tried to ding Biden by calling him Brandon, and we turned that into something positive. Because, like I said, most of us olds, we know how to get in your craw. And we knew that our joy seems to cause y'all distress. So, yes, Dark Brandon is a meme we ran with because it's funny. It is fun seeing Biden in this light because, honestly speaking, I know he knows what he's doing. He has the congressional, the actual presidential chops to do what he needs to do. And he did not inherit an easy path at all. He has to govern 50 hostile states, including one with a fucking literal governor that wants to ban any kind of learning that might be CRT. He has had to come in with somebody who did 4 years of nothing but grifting and grabbing during a fucking pandemic with no rollout. This man inherited a mess, and he is doing his damnedest by us. And that's why I refuse to listen to anybody who has hit pieces about him, the vice president, anybody who's speculating about 2024 when it's 2022 and we have a midterms. But too many people want to play games. Too many people want to highlight, oh, the K-Hive. Is the K-Hive a little too toxic? Is Kamala Harris's popularity rating? Bitch, no. And you know it's not because you're busy writing these kind of articles. You know whose popularity never was a thing? Mike Pence. That's why you didn't get articles about him. It was a fucking snooze fest for 4 years. The most highlighted thing about Mike Pence was the fact that a fly was on his head during the debates, like a fucking zombie. I can't even remember anything about Mike Pence being vice president that was even noteworthy. But yet these people want to talk about Kamala Harris's popularity reign and went, I don't know about you, but I saw every gathering she's been to being full of people cheering, waiting, standing in long lines to meet with her. That's not somebody whose popularity is in question, news bro. But they're going to keep trying and failing to craft this narrative. And those of us who went through it with HRC especially, we're not letting you do this. Y'all can talk a good game on social media. You might even catch some of those contrarian wannabes. You'll even catch those who are highly susceptible. But there are more of us continuing to push back with facts and receipts. And you can call us as toxic as you want, but you won't call us as losers because we vote. We're passionate about doing right by this country. And we're not just picking a side. And I think that's what people don't understand about those of us who are pragmatic. And welcome to the chat, Terry Antico. Welcome to the chat, Beans. I feel like, exactly, Beans. He pulled stunts, but he was such a boring Q-tip of a figure that even his antics during that game didn't make traction. Because it was a typical boring white guy. Yet they're going to try to convince me that Kamala Harris, her popularity is waning. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they're scared. They're scared of her trajectory. They're scared of the people who support her because we can be devoted to seeing her be president one day without being fanatical about it. I don't worship Kamala Harris. She's made mistakes in her career path. Plenty of us have pointed out. We challenged her when she tried to do that Medicare for all stuff, and she changed her tune and went for Kamala Care, which only pissed off the Bernie brats. She's willing to listen, unlike many politicians, and she's willing to hear us. And I think that's what scares the journal bros about her more than anything else. They're so used to fraudulent that anybody genuine comes across as fake. That was their issue with HRC. That's why they stand assholes like Elizabeth Warren. And that's why I don't fuck with people who are still Warren Democrats. It drives me up a wall, to use my favorite saying. When people try to tell me that somebody that they stand, like Yang, is the real deal. But then when you listen to what they say, when you realize that all they're trying to do is find their way in, they don't give a fuck about our issues. They don't give a fuck about anything that's going on. Women's rights are on the line. We still have an issue with racism in the police and military. People are still struggling after COVID to figure out how to survive. This nation is still in a process of healing and repairing, and we cannot afford Republican regression. We have seen what happens when we fall asleep. Looking at you, Virginia, why the fuck is your governor thinking about coming up here to talk to Michigan people about fucking Tudor Dixon? The only thing Tudor Dixon can do is continue to try to put out those crappy ass hit ads that isn't going to get her elected, because Democrats got Gretchen's back. Big Gretch is going to be our governor. We know where our bread is buttered. We know that our governor, and thank you for the resubscribe, honey, has not only brought in revenue to our state, has not only made sure that our state's mandates are adhered to. Motherfuckers tried to kidnap her because they didn't want the government telling them what to do. And she is fighting to protect women's rights. So no, Tudor Dixon, I don't care if you bring Youngkin up here, we're not sleeping on this. And Youngkin should be a cautionary tale for all of y'all in Virginia, screaming about CRT and all y'all did was put a racist in charge of your state. And that Republican regression does nobody any good. So I hope he moseys his ass up here and gets embarrassed. And I hope that Tudor thinks that he's going to help her career, because all he's doing is wasting both of their time. Nobody in Michigan that's serious about voting is taking Tudor Dixon seriously. And Glenn Youngkin needs to stay his ass in Virginia. Hey, respect, welcome to the chat. I just couldn't believe when I seen that. It's like, oh, I'm inviting my friend Glenn Youngkin up to help inspire. And it's like, he don't inspire anything. I seen what he was doing with his band. People yell at him when he's in grocery stores and stuff because they don't respect him. Y'all made a mistake in Virginia. One I hope you's correct in the next election he's up for. But he's not going to mess up things here for us in Michigan. He could try, but we're not stupid. And like I said, I know that there's a certain percentile demographic that might fall for the okie doke, but there are a lot of black people in Michigan. A lot of serious black voters in Michigan. And y'all slept on us way too much. But we know that we can't trust Republicans. And there are a lot of young women voters in Michigan right now who know that the only thing keeping us from losing all of our rights is a Democratic governor. So I'm sorry, Ms. Dixon, but you ain't getting the vote from us. So I don't know what the hysteria about Youngkin coming up to, I guess, campaign with her is. But the only reason why I know who Youngkin is because of videos of constituents literally yelling at him. No one respects him, and he's not going to turn Michigan into another Virginia. So that's all I'm going to say about the whole Youngkin situation. I've already voted in my primary, going down the ballot for Democrats. Everybody in my house is a voter. We are not taking this lightly because it is a midterm year. And I need people to understand that your state and local elections affect us on a national level. And the Republicans really bank on our apathy. They bank on people not understanding that. And I need people to wake the fuck up. A lot of us have easy access initiatives in our states now, whether it's mail-in ballots, whether it's absentee voting if you know you cannot stand in line. There's absolutely no excuse in this day and age to not take your civic duty seriously. Yet there are a lot of people, very loudly, well, they asked me for money. What's the Dems messaging? You mean besides the fact that for 4 years we literally had a grifter who was committing espionage? That death and destruction is the only thing the Republican Party give us? That the reduction of women's rights is their goal? The reduction of black rights is their goal? The reduction of anybody who isn't a straight right rich? Because I need to remind you that only a straight right rich Christian male is who they give a fuck about. So if you don't check those boxes, what the fuck does the Republican Party do for you? And at this point in my life, I am old enough to not fall for every okie doke. So what more fucking messaging do you need? You hear these people going on about student loan debt because that seems to be the big rallying cry for the far left now. And I need to remind you that all your faves in the squad are fucking legislators. Your big fave, Elizabeth Warren, is a fucking senator. If they really cared about student loan debt, about debt reduction, about any of the shit that they go on Instagram or go on talk shows and bitch about, instead of just saying, well, why can't the president do it? Why don't you draft the legislation to do it? Y'all stand stunters who waste seats. Lauren Underwood ain't out there pressing the president to do her job. She's doing her job and getting stuff passed. Why can't your favorite do that? No, she would rather tweet out, well, it's about time that the president do something about student loan debt. It's like, Liz, you are literally a legislator. Some of you stand in Katie Porter. I'm so tired of seeing Whiteboard Wilmer's name come up because I don't hate Katie Porter. I think sometimes people get that from me because I do call her Whiteboard Wilmer. I just don't know her. I don't know anything about her besides her BuzzFeed stunts. She doesn't have much legislation, if any, passed. I don't know who the fuck she is. Yet people are trying to run her like she's the next presidential material, and it's like, what? Why? Is it you need to protect your own so badly that you'll put any white person forward? Because we really need you to stop doing that. You literally accuse us of that when we literally have to send you our best. We just got the first black Supreme Court justice. I love those pictures of Ketanji Brown that I seen earlier too. And she had to be magna cum laude in both Harvard and Yale to get that position. We don't give you our bare minimum. Yet you will take any white bum politician and try to put them in the position of power. And that's how we got Trump. So I'm going to need y'all to stop pushing Katie Porter. Stop trying to push Liz Cheney. Respect the fact that the Biden-Harris administration are doing the thing and get them a full-ass Senate majority. And maybe keep the House in Democrat control too, because we have seen that the Republicans don't give a fuck. Half of them are already complicit with the former crime in chief's espionage. And you can't convince me of that. That's why you got three-toed sloth Myuri Glean going on talking about, we need to impeach Merrick Garland. Bitch, you scared. We know you're scared. You're not fooling anybody at this point. But you got so many people wasting a seat as a Republican. And then you got other people stunted for power. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a politician and you're trying any of those fucking talking points about student loan debt, I'm not looking your way. If you're a politician and you're trying to get into a meme war instead of telling people what you're running for, I don't have time for you. I need people who want to get the fucking work done. And people who understand that this country needs work done. We can't afford these stunters for power right now. Oh, she is really shit. I see that so-called press conference where she's holding up Merrick Garland's picture, and it's like, you're scared. You know you were doing bad, dirty stuff. So, yeah, you're not fooling anybody, Merge. Nope. Her, Bobbert, who's doing drunk benders. Did y'all hear about that? Like, her neighbor had to call 911 to say, please come get them. They're threatening us with guns and they're tanked. These Republicans are off the deep end now because their boy got, and I don't even want to use the word raided because I know everybody's arguing about the semantics of that. He was under investigation. The FBI had to come and collect things. They tried to do it the right way. And this is what I needed. I wanted to talk about it on Friday because I can't believe it. Everybody in this, except for Trump, was acting like an adult. Merrick Garland said to correspondents, hey, you got paperwork that you shouldn't have. We want that paperwork back. Please give it back. Trump ignored it. Okay, second notice. Just like those of us who have been poor and understand what the first and second notice is, I hope you understand where I'm going with this. Second notice. We have given you proper heads up that you have something that belongs to the White House that does not belong to you. Please note that if you do not respond properly to this or return said documents, we are going to have to escalate the situation. Of course, Trump, like most who don't have the funds or thinks I don't have to pay attention to this, ignored that correspondence. So Merrick Garland said, bet. I tried to do this the right way because I am a buy the book person. I'm not getting my job from tweeters, unlike some people who think they have that power. And I'm going to get to y'all soon, too. I tried to do this the proper paperwork way. You're not giving us those documents. Those documents are classified. I am going to send agents to go and retrieve what belongs to the U.S. government. And of course, Trump is whining. Fox News is whining. Fucking loyalists are whining about how, oh, they raided his compound. Guns weren't drawn. It was not a raid. It was a literal FBI investigation. They went, they seized government property and brought it back. The fact that people are whining when Trump should have been arrested, as far as I'm concerned, because he's still a fucking insurrectionist, is beyond me. But the fact that these people think that he should be beyond the law because he's a former POTUS, no, that's not going to fly. And what got them scared is the way things are being done. Because it's not a shit show. It's not a stunt for power. Merrick Garland is doing everything by the book. And when things do finally drop for so many people, it's going to drop hard and they ain't getting out of it. So I need people who want a Law and Order episode, who want to see a perp walk, who want unrealistic expectations to sit back, focus on your midterm ballot, and stop trying to armchair quarterback this shit. Adults are in the room, and there are a lot of these young men, the same ones writing hit pieces about this administration, speculating, telling us, oh, you're wasting your time believing in this administration. No, the fuck we weren't. Those of us who are pragmatic, who understand that we weren't promised anything, but we understand that we have people that want to do the work, people who have the knowledge and the ability to negotiate and get shit done and pass, are finally in charge. And we're not going to just mess this up because we didn't get a pat on the head and a cookie for every fucking vote. There are some of you that live a life of entitlement, and we're not going to let you trip us up. We are not going to let your need to constantly be centered fuck this up for us. Because some of us have buried and lost way too many people close to us because of your fuck up in 2016. And I will not let you forget that. People who should still be here with us lost to COVID, lost to all other Trump screw ups, allies that lost their lives because of his bullshit here and abroad. We cannot afford to sleep on this. And a lot of you are thinking, oh, I'm in a blue state, I'm safe. There's no such thing as a safe blue state. Republicans back on your apathy during the midterms. That's how they swoop in the power. That's how they get on our school boards. That's how they get in our local offices, fucking up our budgets. This is a call to every single Democrat who is tired of your state hemorrhaging funds because some fucking GOP asshole is a waste of space, giving breaks to his friends while you struggle. If you are fucking tired of it and you're 18 and older and you registered as a Dem, vote. It is the only way to protect our rights, to get stability, which our media sure as hell doesn't want. They act like having a stable government is going to stop the mental issues that this country has. No, it is going to help treat the wound, but you'll still get your clickable news stories. There's still yahoos with easy access to fucking weapons. There's still constant stuff to report on. But they were enjoying the fact that not only did we have all that chaos under Trump, but the continued American chaos. And we have got to stop feeding their narrative. because it does us more damage. When we constantly ingest nothing but their bad, they want to take our joy. That's why the Dark Brandon thing dismays them so much. They were hoping to have a dictator with a D by his name. They were hoping that it would be the same old, but worse. And now they're seeing what stability and competence brings, and they're scared. Because they can't be relevant if things are stable. They can't write their upbeat book about how the sky is falling by Sarah Cressender. They cannot convince you that they are relevant and interesting if things are stable. And we have got to stop making things lucrative for people like that. Stop giving money to these pundits who sit on there and tell you, oh, everything's bad. Buy my book. No, things are stabilizing and we should be pushing for more stability. And we are literally in a midterms. And most of y'all are living in states that have a bunch of idiot regressive Republicans running for stuff and a lot of new Dems, and vet them. Vet these people. Right now, I want to help PA go blue. As much as I don't like fucking Fetterman, as much as everything about him, everything about that midterm turnout for his primaries irks my soul, I don't want to see Melvin Oz running a Senate seat in that state. He doesn't even fucking live in PA. He's from fucking New Jersey. And while I do not like John Fetterman, I'm making it clear. I don't have to act like I have a real dime in this court, except that my friend who passed was going to vote for him. So for her behalf, I want to make sure that PA voters turn out and make sure that Oz does not fucking get that seat. But when I say I'm watching you, Fetterman, I'm watching to make sure you're not a fucking waste of seat, because if you are, you will be replaced. Don't think it can't happen. Fucking Doug Jones, who shouldn't have lost to Tommy Tuberville, learned what happens when Dems don't turn out. And we cannot afford any more of these kind of fuck-ups. So if you have a midterm race, you need to be preparing to vote. There's absolutely no excuse. And I am calling out every single Democrat on this. Because there are enough of us to turn the tide in every state. But you only rely on the black Dems to constantly turn out. And we can't do this by ourselves. And I'm sick and tired of people telling me that they're my ally, but the numbers don't fucking lie. Y'all ain't turning out. You're constantly on TikTok talking about you need messaging. You're constantly bitching about, oh, they're fundraising at me. How dare they ask me for money? Honey, I'm team broke ass. I don't got money. If a Dem reaches out to me for fundraising, I tell them politely, if I don't have it, I can't help you. I'll spread the word about your campaign, but I don't have extra funds right now. I don't get mad at fundraising. It is a healthy sign that they're fundraising. Yet you got these infamous people on Twitter and TikTok. And that's the problem with the viral generation. And I say this as somebody who can technically be considered viral on Twitter. I never let those numbers let me forget who I am. I still tweet the same way I tweeted when I only had one follower, because I don't think those numbers should change who you are. I don't think I'm infallible. I don't think the shit I tweet changes the government. But some people are really fucking narcissistic with this. And it isn't just people in the media. I've literally had people I respected come at me trying to say, well, you know, they look at the stuff you say. And yeah, I get that there are people in Congress and people in the Senate that look and see what trends and tracks. But the real doers ain't on fucking Twitter. And I can't believe I have to literally say that to grown people. But you have these people who delusionally believe that the shit that we tweet and the shit that we make trend is really affecting our president and Congress. And it's like, I'm a little schizophrenic. Bipolar schizophrenic. I'm not going to even act like there haven't been days where I probably thought my ass was fucking Joan of Arc or something. I have literally had non-lucid days. This is not to make light of my illness. This is the real. Lucidity sometimes isn't with me. Never in any of my mental health struggles have I ever believed that the crazy shit that I tweet or make trend has ever made a politician do something. I get that supporting politicians is important. I vote. My voting report card is an A+ because I take that shit seriously. I have since I was a little girl, and my grandmother said vote because they don't want you to. But what I refuse to do is let that fucking follow account number, no matter what platform it is, give me an ego that I'm infallible. I tell people all the time, be wary of that attitude. And I get how easy it is to fall into it. Once you get enough people having your back, once you get enough people championing for you, you start to get into your head thinking that, oh, I can say what I want. It don't matter. People will have my back. And that's a dangerous way to be. I want people to check. I want people to fact and verify things, especially in the viral day and age. But too many people want to be loyal, and that's why I say I want friends and followers. I don't need fans. You want to be fans of something? I got a book out. Be fans of the characters in the book. If I talk to you on a regular, you are my friend. And I know that there are some big name people on YouTube and Twitter, and they want to go on about parasocial relationships. And I get there are some people that do that to me too. And if I don't know you, I make it clear I really don't know you. Thanks, but no thanks. I am very funny time being an introvert from New York. I have absolutely no problem telling you that I don't know you. I know some people, they're like, oh, no, I've never been like that. So if I say that I consider you a friend, not just a follow, I'm not just blowing smoke up people's ass like that. And I don't just follow back anybody anymore. Early days of Twitter when I was working for a magazine, yeah, build up your brand, build up your phone, blah, blah, blah. That shit's exhausting. And some people aren't worth a follow back. But a lot of people, they build up those numbers, they act like they're infallible, and I don't want to ever get like that. People are human. I like to believe that every single number behind those follows are people that are interested in dialogue, people that want to talk, to share their lives and share my life with them. And I refuse to let a platform change who the fuck I am. I am still that girl that grew up on Henderson Avenue in Staten Island, New York. And I'm not going to change no matter where I go from here. That is just who I am as a person. And I think that attracts other people who just want to be themselves. But it also can lead to egos. And I think that is a problem that a lot of people, especially in the political and social commentary platforms, are going to have to struggle with. And it's not easy. You're constantly ingesting toxic bullshit. You're constantly having to fact find and push because our media sure as hell ain't doing it. You're constantly trying to do things to uplift and remind and motivate people to do their bare minimum, which is all I want people to do right now. Vote in your midterms. Get these motherfuckers who are wasting a Senate and House seat out, and let's get that progress. That way, if you want a bitch, oh, still nothing's being done, I can say, oh, you know what, you're right. We have a full majority and nothing's being done. But we can't even fucking say that, and you know it, because shit's being done without a majority. Y'all are scared of what we can do if we had a full fucking majority, and it's starting to show. You media fucker types, you ain't fooling nobody. You seen how Brandon, and I hate even calling him that because it feels like I'm playing around with the stupid insult that the maggots tried to come up with for him. But I just want to take that from them. That's why we did it. That's why we enjoyed and embraced the Dark Brandon, because we're not going to let you disrespect our president. We are not going to let you disrespect our VP. We are going to take the meanness from it and bring the joy that you can't stand, because we know it distresses you and those far left cosplay socialists. Don't think I forgot about you fuckers either. Y'all really wanted to ding this administration. Oh, he made a bunch of promises to us. No, he didn't. And he kept every promise he made to his actual base. He told us, we're going to put black women judicial people We're going to appoint them. He did it. We're going to get you the first black female SCOTUS. He did it. First LGBT open cabinet member. First Interior Secretary Native American. Biden Harris administration has been a party of first, and they are keeping their promises to the people they made promises to. So I'm sorry, Ashy Hotep, who tries to lie to black people and say, oh, they made promises to black people, did not keep it. You're wrong. And far left rats, I don't know if you just fell asleep during the primaries, but the only people that were making promises to you were the woman whining about wine moms who's back in Boston doing, I don't know, tweeting about student loan debt, and old man grandpa who the news seems to still be enamored with, yet you want to talk about Biden's age. Isn't Bernie like a good 10 years older than Biden? What the fuck is going on? Why is everything feels bizarro right now with the way the media is behaving? There's like a whole bunch of cognitive dissonance. We're supposed to believe that old man Vermont isn't too old to be president. Yet you just want to ding Biden for being too old? The hypocriticalness for me, y'all. It's the hypocriticalness. And we see how they keep attacking VP Harris. That is why the K-Hive isn't going anywhere. And you can call us toxic. Every group has members that are toxic. You can call us names, but what you won't call us is non-voters. Because we organize behind our receipts. We crowdfund behind our receipts. And we vote. Unlike you whiners who only want to troll and dox and try to emotionally manipulate people online. That's why I became such a hard bitch on Twitter especially. Because I spent years, like many of you, being attacked by the cosplay socialists especially. They were even worse than the maggots because the maggots for some reason, and this is how I know how slick the conservative party is. I had Jordan, or whatever, the mommy phone guy. I don't remember his fucking full name. I just remember that he uses his mother's phone number for his shit, sliding into my DMs. I literally had conservatives, because they like the way I come across, they love the way I write, try to court me to their side. It was gross. I hard noped, and I blocked whoever did it. I literally had old white men going, you're so good at what you do. You should really come over to our side, and Trump could use you. Trump could use a lot of things, but my black ass was not going for it. Then I had the other side literally mad at me because I wasn't falling for their magic grandpa. Assholes like Louise Mensch calling me a fucking cult leader. And I didn't go heavy onto this because, honestly speaking, it didn't bother me at first. And then I realized that if I drew too much attention to her antics, it would be like I was admitting that it bothered me. So I had to let it go. But now people are finally waking up that, oh, she might just be troublesome. You think? Any black organization that she tried to slide in with was troubled by her. But then anybody who actually wanted to just do the right things were downplayed by her. And she literally called me a cult leader. And it was like, I ran a small political group on fucking Twitter that tried to get people to vote. And even then, I will even admit that the CCC was problematic. I don't walk away from that. I realized that my group started with the best intentions, but it devolved. I literally had one dude who was literally sexually harassing women, threatening them. I had another guy who was going off the deep end with threatening people. You cannot control everybody in said groups. That's why I don't do groups anymore. And it sucks because I know people add me to DM groups all the time. I know people want my input, but I'm a bit camera shy to that shit anymore because when I had a group of people I thought was solid friends, the shit fell apart. It's not easy doing stuff like that. And that's why I'm the way I am with the K-Hive. I love being associated with the K-Hive. I don't say I'm just K-Hive adjacent like some people. No, I consider myself 100% K-Hive. But I don't do that groupthink shit. I think we're allowed to have our own opinions. I think we are all mature enough to understand that we're not always going to meet on the same levels of things, and that we need to support each other's success, and we need to pick each other up when we fail at things. We are human beings. But it's fucking problematic when we got these other little nitpicky groups trying to say we're extremists. The only extreme thing I've ever seen K Hive do is when we were all being trying to be roped in by that one lady who is causing a whole bunch of issue and problems, sliding into people's DMs. She tried to start, and this is how I know I can't trust everybody that calls themselves K Hive, because all of you know how I felt about Lynn. Lynn was a dear friend to me, one of the sweetest people online. Those who actually knew Lynn knows that she was a real one, person that you could call in the middle of the night if you just needed to talk, real one. And this Robin lady, and it's always a Robin because it was a Robin that caused me a lot of trouble when I was running my group, that was trying to start fights between her and several other key members. And that's why I said, as much as I love being K Hive, I am very cautious on who I kick it with. Because there are a lot of people that can call themselves anything and be shit stirrers. And that's just how our group is always gonna be. We have each other's back. I don't want anybody thinking, oh, I called myself K Hive, but they left me out to dry. But if you're K Hive and all you're doing is starting trouble, all you're doing is instigating stuff, all you're doing is trying to sell merchandise that's not only tacky but unneeded, no, I'm not going to back you. I'm not going to talk shit about you either, because I ain't got time for that. There is elections to be won. But what people need to understand about the K Hive is that we are grassroots. We don't have actual leaders, though there are people trying to constantly vie for it. We have people who actually formed and made it a household name, and I will always give respect to people like Bianca who did the thing. But the whole idea that we have leadership and all that, that's bullshit. We are a bunch of grown people who know how to fact check, who keep receipts, who love to take screenshots of the stupid shit people say, because I love to do that. Is this you? And many of us have done that. We are just human beings that want our democracy to survive. And that's what being K Hive has always meant to me. And that's what it means to so many of us. But we understand that as big as our group continues to be, and as much of a social and regular media presence as we are, there are going to be people who say they are and act out, that say they are and only want to push things. And we have to be mindful and wary of those types. But they do not define our group. And with the media constantly attacking VP Harris and us, with everybody trying to figure out a weakness in us, the last thing we need to do is take our focus off of what's important. It's like my friend said, and I love it. She's retired from being summoned by everybody looking for attention from the K Hive. And I'm with that. Just because some blue check mark says the K Hive's attacking me doesn't mean we have to. Pay them the dust they deserve. I'm not here to fight with every Nimrod and numbnut on Twitch and Twitter because they want to debate something that's non-debatable. My rights, the rights of every American, is not up for the fucking bait. You want to argue nuance of why your student debt is more important than voter rights and women's rights? Do that with somebody who cares. I'm too busy organizing for races like Val Demons, races like Beto, races like Cheryl Beasley's, races like Stacey Abrams, races like Gretchen fucking Whitmer, who's going to be governor again, Tudor Dixon, no matter how many Republicans you try to get in there. We're not letting y'all crazy, we want to kidnap people asses ever run our state into the ground again. That is what the K Hive's doing, and that's why so many people are fucking scared of our grassroots organization. So if you're K Hive, understand that's why so many people are being negative. And I know it can be tiring. It can be exhausting. But if you're black and you're K Hive, you're used to it. The world has constantly been against us. We are so used to everybody talking shit about us, yet relying on us. It is that fucking duality that so many of us are so fucking used to that we don't even break a sweat. Y'all talk shit about us, but you know you need us, so talk all the shit you want. But I'm saying this to white KI right now. I know you aren't used to this level of vitriol, though you should be, because you've seen what Hillary Clinton went through. Walk it off. We need you to stay strong because they're going to keep trying to be nasty. And right now, the only thing they have is whining about a fucking meme. So we know we're doing the right thing. We need you to take that energy that you were taking, wasting, worrying about these fucking political and Newsweek and other stupid ass articles, and organize voter drives. Get people motivated. Use your voice for something else. Don't give them sound bites and talking points. Pay them the dust they deserve because all they're doing is shit stirring for attention. And keep that focus where it belongs, the future and actual progress. Anybody who considers themselves K-Hive, no, you don't belong at the kiddie table of politics. You're not arguing one note issues. You realize that everything matters and that you have to vote. Because it doesn't matter if some bumfuck Yahoo with a Trump 2024 benefits from a stable economy. We all get lifted up. That's the role of what we're doing. And I know that for some selfish and entitled assholes, they don't get that. But who cares? That's why they sit at the kiddie table. Adults are in charge, and we need to keep giving them a solid majority to keep them in charge. It's on us. And I'm saying this as a 45-year-old woman who has so much to look forward to, who is being defiantly joyful, that I want this to keep going. I like being able to sleep at night. I like waking up to stability and I want more of it. I'm being greedy on this shit because I know that we are getting good things and I know that there are more good things on the horizon, but we are not out of the woods. We have some very unstable people with ease of access to weapons, shooting up our schools, shooting up our grocery stores, just shooting up places. And we need effective state legislators that can help put a stop to this. Not legislators that are worrying about fetuses, not legislators that want to worry about the age of consent. We need legislators that give a fuck about life the way they claim to be. And that is on us. We have to be the front against their fuckery. Now I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. I thank you all for sitting in on this. I will definitely be back on Friday. Last week was just really, I don't go through pain like a puss, as I like to call it. Normally I can power through most things, but the older I get, the more my body says no, I start to listen. And Friday, with everything going on, it just all hit me at once. And it was like, you know what? I got to take time. And I'm just grateful that you've allowed me to do this. I'm grateful that you understand days where Tin just can't do things. And you have been just so supportive. So I want to thank everybody who sits in on these casts, everybody who watches these on YouTube when I re-upload them. It's because of you that I'm able to do these things. And I understand now that you're okay with me going, I need a break because I'm in too much pain to sit at the desk. And I really, really just appreciate the love and support you guys give. And I know that as the cast continues on, there'll be new faces in there. And I hope to treat y'all all like your regulars too one day. But until then, I am grateful to all of you who sit in constantly. And welcome to the chat, Plaid Cat. But I'm going to get ready to wrap this up, go make dinner for the family. I will be back on Friday night with a whole new Bonnet Chronicles. As y'all can see, the news cycle isn't going to stop. There's so much to go over. And I didn't even get to the heart of the Trump espionage thing, but I'm still fact finding and pulling information about that because I want to just break it all down how ridiculously Keystone Cop stupid it was. But I will definitely be back on Friday with an all new nightly Bonnet Chronicles. And I just appreciate you all. Thank you all so much. Also, thank you to everybody. We are over $1,200 now for the Kickstarter. The goal is 10K because we're trying to bulk order the books and get them out to people. So any likes, shares, retweets help us out. So many people are donating, and I appreciate it all. Thank you all so much. But like I said, I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. I don't like these long goodbyes. I feel like I'm doing one of them Minnesota goodbyes. I will see y'all all in a few days. Good night.